After spending 7 years Fieldhouse, and this Fever offense has been swings. Clark on a step back.
They have size at every position.
Last time these two teams matched up, it was. This is Odyssey Sims. LA played well in Dallas too, and that's an open.
Clark especially was blitzed a handful of times, and it's been some.
Jackson averaging 13 points per
break, and you can't let Kelsey Mitchell get.
She's pulling away a big lead.
LA has
to work on Stevens, and here is Stevens, who will launch Indiana with the defense. Lexi Hull going coast.
About enough changes for this career.
Here's Mitchell putting on the move. Hamby goes back to work, and the scoop. Clark, step back. Here is Hamby, who will fire from 3.
Did all the hard stuff. And
to win Rookie of the Month and Player MVP. Here is Nalissa Smith, fire away. Just 11th in the WNBA. A week ago today, they beat
Mitchell and Clark.
Awards, the coaching award.
It is New York, the top team in the league.
See, Mitchell was equally, if not more, Hamby just puts her head down.
She went right to bed, didn't even check.
Kelsey, thank you, and for the franchise.
No question. She said 4, maybe 3. In the 6th spot in the playoff.
Odyssey Sims finds some space. Hesitation. Clark gets inside. Here's Hamby fighting through traffic, flips it up. Here is Stevens on the roll. Oh. Mitchell, catch and shoot, whistle there.
Since the break, for 100. It's amazing.
Mitchell leads all scorers with 7.
Mitchell doing a really good job fronting Rakia Jackson.
Indiana times. Here's Lee.
Physical post who can run off.
Backdoor pass finds Kia Nurse. The Fever turnover, so it hasn't hurt them. Comes Boston, flips her shoulder, and it's an off. Ray Burrell, who's just checked. Clark stepping back on the baseline.
To her game as well.
Burrell attacking the baseline.
Such a low scoring first quarter.
Shots because of that turnover.
Might relax just a tad.
Clark will launch off balance. Good fortune here if you are a fan and both playing in this building.
You can say that about the Indiana Fever.
Here in May. Clark.
Her hips and shoulders pass.
Highest scoring game.
It seems like
it's a full-time
time to spend on all the numbers.
On the bounce, Dantas charging inside baseline. There's Burrell through trap.
Players, Smith and Don.
And here is Nurse stepping back, launching, and she was here. She hit 5 threes. Smith denial, but on a fast
break opportunities.
Nurse stepping back and
rid of it quickly. You got to move the ball
in the WNBA, so it's a little below.
Turnover margin, a +2
putting on the moves. Clark
better than 17 points a game.
On Kelsey Mitchell as she steps into it right there with Ray Burrell and Kia Nurse.
Help Indiana.
Dantas over a double. He put together a fine evening, 10
average. To execute in the quarter court, and now get you with some mismatches.
Mitchell trying to get this Indiana offense kickstarted.
He's on the season.
And
home of the Imps, same place as me.
Clark, good feed into. Here's Azare again. Oh, doing
a D.
And a Boston on the other end.
And executive of the year in this league.
Feeding it.
Indiana play offensively.
Well, worth noting that sometimes it does. It's a 2 Vegas a couple of times. So they've got some impressive
wins in the W. As part of
and hit just 3 threes.
Go to LA's practice in the W because they work.
Here's Burrell fighting inside. And a backdoor cut. It's Mitchell. Burrell to switch on to Boston. Sims off the screen, driving into Samuel. Just 3 total points since the minutes. We haven't seen Christy Wallace.
She's coming off the bench again. Of course, Dearica Hamby, you know.
WNBA level this year. Here is Hamby. On Samuelson, shot off the mark. There's Hamby.
Harder on this team, number 2 pick in the draft. Cameron, we're sending our best to you.
Rebounds.
Had a nice. Because she wanted to be here, and for Rakia, it's like you're going to be an all-star.
No question, and that's what. Advantage on Wheeler and Jackson.
She's an incredible athlete. You're a rookie, that's impressive.
Oh, Clark for Indiana, Kelsey Mitchell. 12.
Hamby and try to get her going. Looks like they're going.
Here's Sims into hole. Angel on the drive, turns the corner and gets to the
thigh pads.
We've seen that speed be such an break. Smith going one-on-one.
Passers out of that play.
Here's Stevens. One of the top 3-point shooting teams in the. Stevens will try it again.
has his team blitz.
He's finding some room to work down there on a regular roster deal. Some bills, but not a full-time gig. Nurse able to shovel it there to Stevens. Deanna Mitchell staying aggressive, flips it up. And I have my mind on the gridiron.
Penalty on the official.
Here in the second half. Andy with a crossover, driving into Smith, leaves it. Clark crossing over, and traces. Sims giving chase. Caitlin Clark as Jackson throws up a wand, bounces for Boston. Here is Hamby on the other end, spinning.
Somebody back. We were on the same side. Look at Boston with
last year.
12 and 13.
Hamby, on Egypt, putting on the moves.
A lot of that lately. It does throw you off rhythm.
It's always a chess match.
A timeout or a substitution.
Sims to switch on to Boston, driving on Boston.
Hill gets you in isolation. Look to it in Dallas.
On the drive, Clark hangs and banks it.
Can't stop her.
Jackson turning on. Trying to establish Lee have to hoist from way outside. Sitting on 16 points here so far. Here is Clark launching.
Mismatch for Azurá Stevens. It's that much space to snake behind. You put a lot of.
Drops it for Smith. Haven't been able to shake the sparks. Wheeler giving chase. Jackson on the Jets. Wheeler going coast to coast. Right there.
Yeah.
And Sunday. Base decision for Christie Sides. Extra pass. It's Indiana back up 5. Clark trying to answer. You bet. Break out of that here as Sims on the drop.
They like to run for Kelsey Mitchell.
Nurse weaving her way inside and
try to force some slippage.
Boston back for Clark. But the Fevers it over to Burrell, who's open. Well, really nice defensive possessions there. Minutes here today. Dantas fading, firing.
Direction's tough to guard. What a take by
driving on Burrell, hangs and
being guarded by Mitchell and Clark.
And Sparks have just not gone away. They've Boston spinning inside.
Game. Nobody in the league runs.
Clark lobbing inside. Oh, difficult.
And her ability to run the floor, play one.
Fever hit with a moving screen. Step back, hits a throw, going behind the back. Oh, it's for the most ever.
Let me correct myself. It's
will she get it off in time? Just does.
So good at creating separation to get into.
Mitchell pulling up. Things at hand here, trying to secure their 18. Oh, shot too strong. Stevens with the.
Lexi Hall does not need fantastic.
Being free on the CBS Sports app for us. On 2, Sims taking it right up the middle. Smith with the rebound. Oh, pretty spin. Christie Sides really. Burrell catch and shoot. Whoa, wait.
Shooter open.
Mitchell, that's a deep defensive end. And they lost Hamby.
Her second trip to the free throw line. She's
here as a pro, comes in your 10th seat, averaging 18 points per game. That's a
remarkable run by them.
Mitchell hoists and had it. Sims difficult. And Hamby right into Smith, maybe got away with some move. Floats it up, gets it. De'Erica Hamby, you're not battling like this. Hamby's had a nice second on the drive. Smith lays it in. Going here in the fourth quarter. Sims on the right now. Clark lets it fly. Either direction, I think Clark and Mitchell 11 assists and 12 rebounds
to close out games, right? And they can get a stop.
Burrell catching. Thought about the 3 and traveled. Her way in, backing in on Stevens. Earlier in the play, didn't get called for.
That's a really good ATO by Indiana.
Of the season, and that tops. And a big. Nurse drives in. Sims picks her pockets, and Sims
from the trail official that doesn't have.
Has the ball under 2 minutes to go, trying to go Bridge Fieldhouse. Mitchell will take it herself on the.
Their tendency for the Fever is
back. Here's a Boston 3. Nurse is left open. She like it. Boston. Mitchell.
Like I said earlier.
Break. Have we called her name?
17 for 25 in assists. Foul here. I like the strategy. Play D.
3 drives her way inside. Muscles. Not surprising. And it's up. It won't. Kelsey burst out of their seats like it was a game. They're 18 and 6.
Like you're not winning. Is it somebody back? Viewers. Caitlin Clark
on the same side. Look at Boston
against New York.
The Olympics last year.
12 and 13.
Breaks too high for Egypt. Good hands there by Hamby.
Egypt.
Putting on the moves.
Because Indiana has not seen a lot of that lately. It does throw you off rhythm.
He's such a master tactician. It's always a chess match.
I think it's the rhythm of the game. Sometimes it's a timeout or a substitution. Can't play the same all the time.
Sims to switch on to Boston, driving on Boston.
So they're very much a downhill, gets you in isolation. Look to the average 17 points on a hardship in Dallas.
The Sparks. Clark being watched by Nurse. Clark on the drive. Clark hangs and banks it.
Defender. Really can't stop her.
Jackson turning on. Trying to establish Lee. Shot clock down to 5. Sims gonna have to hoist from way outside. Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston, each sitting on 16 points here so far. Mitchell to switch on to Lee. Here is Clark launching.
She snakes behind it, and then she creates this mismatch for Azurá Stevens. When there's that much space to snake behind, you put a lot of...
Stevens, Mitchell putting on the moves. Mitchell on the drive, drops it for Smith. Shooting over 50% from the floor. Haven't been able to shake the Sparks. Inside for Jackson, poked away by Mitchell. Wheeler giving chase. Jackson. Now it's Wheeler turning on the Jets. Wheeler going coast to coast. In her prime. That's it right there.
Yeah.
And we over Dallas on Sunday. Kind of a matchup-based decision for Christie Sides. Clark on the drive, behind the back to Boston. Extra pass. It's giving up good looks for great looks. Indiana back up 5.
Triples.
Clark trying to answer. You out of it, but we are starting to break out of that here as Sims on the drive.
Triple of the season.
The night is almost what you expect from her.
Caitlin off that Iverson action. That's an action they like to run for Kelsey Mitchell.
Nurse weaving her way inside and
Be there in the last couple of possessions. Try to force some slippage and confident level to finish off the season.
Boston back for Clark. Hit 3 of them. With the fever. Sims whips it over to Burrell, who's open. Couple really nice defensive possessions there.
Really battling in there for position.
Wheeler getting some extra minutes here today.
It's been better in their court action.
Dantas fading, firing. Haven't gotten a good look.
Oh, that scissor action's tough to guard. What a take by...
Split the double. Clark driving on Burrell, hangs and can't.
Giroux is being guarded by Mitchell and Clark.
Sparks have just not gone away. They've out of sync at times. Boston spinning inside.
Such a good two-man game. Nobody in the league runs.
Clark lobbing inside. Oh, difficult.
Diminish the value that Aaliyah Boston brings and her ability to run the floor, play well out of that high post area.
Fever hit with a moving screen.
Because she can get a bucket on anybody.
Clark, step back, hits a. Here comes Clark going the other way. Clark going behind the back. Oh, it's. Which ties Brianna Stewart for the most ever of her recent games.
And let me correct myself. It's.
With a shot clock down to 2. Nurse, will she get it off in time? Just does.
Can't stop it. It's because she's so good at creating separation to get into the way she creates separation.
Mitchell pulling up. Fever have far more important things at hand here, trying to secure their 18th. Hamby rolling, runs into hole, shot too strong. Stevens with the.
Lexi Hall does not need seen that since the Olympic break. She's been fantastic.
Omaha, you will be able to find it streaming free on the CBS Sports app. It's over 6 minutes to go here from Indianapolis. Turnover. Here comes Sims with a 3-on-2. Sims taking it right up the middle. Can't connect on that 3. Smith with the rebound. Oh, pretty spin.
Indiana.
Christie Sides really in need of her. Burrell catch and shoot. Whoa, wait.
This Indiana overhelps and leaves the three-point shooter open.
Mitchell, that's a deep 2. Weaver Needham stops on the defensive end, and they lost Hamby.
That'll be 12 for her and her second trip to the free throw line. She's
not often your best year as a pro comes in your 10th season. 30-year-old De'Erica Hamby, averaging 18 points per game. That's a
facets of the game. She has a very high motor. Ended up getting in the medal round. It was really a remarkable run by them.
possession there for Indiana. Shot clock down to 3. Mitchell hoists and had it. Sims, difficult.
Getting the ball to the right place.
And 22 points. Burrell bouncing here for Hamby. Right into Smith. Maybe got away with Hamby attacking Boston. Spin move. Floats it up. Gets it. Maybe if you don't have a De'Erica Hamby, you're not battling like this.
Here. And De'Erica's teammates.
Hamby's had a nice second mark. Boston. Here is Smith on the drive. Smith lays it in. Smith getting going here in the fourth quarter. Sims on the pier. Now, a lot of veterans on the floor right now. Clark the switch on to Talbot. Clark lets it fly. Looking for win number 5 in a row. Could have gone, Kelsey, thank you, either direction. I think Clark and Mitchell has combined for 40 points, 11 assists, and 12 rebounds.
Indiana has relied on their defense to close out games, right? And they've had a situation in the game right here. Let's see what they can get a stop.
Burrell catching when they needed it. Talbot back up top. Hamby thought about the 3 and traveled. Had Mitchell there for a moment and said she'll back her way in. Backing in on Stevens. Might have been reaching around earlier in the play. Didn't get called for.
That's a really good ATO by Indiana.
Boston with their 12th double-double of the season, and that tops. And a big for LA. Nurse drives in, sub shy, but that time turns it over. Sims picks her pockets, and Sims.
Whistle comes from the trail official. That doesn't have.
What a major swing here as Indiana has the ball under 2 minutes to go, trying to go 50. Remaining here from Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Mitchell will take it herself on the
baseline out of bounds. Their tendency for the Fever is
Mitchell whips it back. Here's a Boston 3. Cross court, Nurse is left open. Mitchell, shot clock down to 5, doesn't like it. Boston, Mitchell.
Outstanding. Like I said earlier.
How often here out of the Olympic break have we called her name? Shot.
I mean, she's been 17 for 25. Continues to lead the WNBA in assists. Kurt Miller electing not to foul here. I like the strategy. Play D.
Boston, shot clock down to 3. Drives her way inside. Muscles to WNBA. Not surprising. Management of the ball, no huddle.
Same play.
It's up. It won't.
What a reaction by Kelsey.
Multiple fans in this building. They burst out of their seats like it was a game. They're 18 and 16, sole